Have you ever purchased music and listened to it, rented a movie or saw it in a theatre, or hired a photographer for your wedding or the sale of your home? It's all licensing. In this video, I'm going to go over the basics of image licensing, as it's not uncommon for it to be misunderstood, or at least not fully understood, which is fine, but hopefully this will help shed some light on it. So you're a business, you've hired a professional photographer, and now you're wondering how this image licensing thing works. Basically, the copyright holder sells usage rights to be able to use the images for various purposes. In most cases, there are limits to the use of the media as well. Things like how long it can be used for, what it can be used for and where, and who can use it. So who is the copyright holder? The photographer. The moment an image is taken, the copyright is held by the photographer and it is protected by copyright law. So let's use an example of something you'd be very familiar with. Let's say Warner Brothers or whoever makes movies these days creates an awesome movie. They create a piece of visual media that has value because people want to go and see it. Okay, so what are the different types of licensing agreements that could apply to this single piece of visual media? Let's say you want to watch it privately in your own home and you rent it for one night. You go to some streaming platform and you rent the movie and you're licensed to have access to the movie for 24 hours. Okay, great. And let's say it costs $5 or whatever it costs. I don't know, I'm just making these numbers up. Right, so let's say I rent it for a week now and it costs $10. Okay, so the value to me went up as I can access it for a week now. Let's say I purchase it so I can have unlimited access forever, and that costs $30, whatever. Okay, cool, so as the value to the consumer went up, so did the cost, and the licensing agreements changed. Now this is in the private space and there will be restrictions in place as well. Like you couldn't sell tickets to your mates to come over and watch it. You'd be limited to the number of people who could come and watch it, just in general, like you couldn't have 1,000 people over. And you can't go make a copy and go hand it out to someone else. Okay, now let's say I own a movie theatre and I want to rent the movie to be able to show it on my big screen. I want to be able to sell tickets to patrons to come and view it, and I want to sell other things like food and drink on the side. I'll be licensing the piece of visual media to make money off it. Well, now the value of this is significantly higher, and the fees and licensing agreements would be completely different. Now let's change gears and let's take a song for example. Let's say I really love the song Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana, a very popular song, or whatever the kids are listening to these days, like, I don't know, mumble rap. Purchasing that music to listen to doesn't mean the copyright has been transferred over to me. By purchasing that song, I don't have the rights to sell it to someone else for commercial use, or make it the theme song for my business and use it on my website. I can listen to it, but I can't do those things. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it any further than that. You get the idea. The main takeaway here is that a single piece of visual media that has value can be sold a variety of different ways and multiple times over. And the value assigned to it depends on who is purchasing it and what they are using it for. That is exactly what photographers do. It's how we make a living. We create pieces of visual media and we sell the usage rights to different parties who seek to obtain those rights. A common misconception is that people assume they can do what they like with an image, just like they could if they shot something on their iPhone. The big difference here is that when hiring a professional photographer, the photographer owns the copyright and has licensed its use to the individual or the business. Anyway, I hope this makes image licensing a little clearer. I often get asked about image licensing, that's why I made this video. But the key point here is that all visual media has a copyright owner and only the copyright owner has the rights to license the use of that media. My name is Ben from BC Images. Thank you very much.